Alright, just bear with me just for a second. Alright, the National Weather Service in Detroit Pontiac. This is Jacob Melton live with you here in the Southern Michigan Weather Center. The National Weather Service in Detroit Pontiac is trying to troubleshoot some software issues. Just bear with me just for a second. Just bear with me here. Okay, there we go. Just switch to another radar source. Okay. Apologies about that, but the National Weather Service in Detroit Pontiac has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Saginaw and Bay County. This severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 8:30 this evening. A severe thunderstorm was located 7 miles south of Freeland, moving northeast at 85 miles per hour, so this is a relatively quick-moving storm, and this is mainly for the potential of hail up to quarter size in diameter, as this is well north of the warm front, which in fact is still south of our state line. So this is a elevated storm, so not really any potential for tornadoes or anything like that. And the gusty wind potential is there, but should stay below severe limits. The main thing we're concerned about with this storm is potential for quarter-size hail. I am going to switch over to vertical integrated liquid, which is a product that helps us show hail potential, and it is a bit elevated. This is an older scan, but this shows it near the Hemlock area. This is a bit older scan though. I'm going to go back to our reflectivity product, and our heavier values are showing up northwest side of Saginaw, like over the Lawndale neighborhood near the Sawmill Golf Club. Just northeast of the Sawmill Golf Club is where our radar is showing the potential for some larger hail. Like if you're along Tittabawassee Road, you're likely seeing some larger hail. If you're near the Lawndale Road area, you're likely seeing the potential for quarter-size hail. And this is eventually heading towards areas like Saginaw Valley State University, Delta College, eventually, especially the south side of the Bay City area. Like if you're near the James Clements Municipal Airport, be aware of the potential for large hail, up to quarter size in diameter. If you are near, if you're near the Michigan Sugar Trails in Bigelow Park, you need to be aware of the potential of large hail. If you're near and south, especially of the McLaren Bay Region Hospital in Bay City, be aware for the potential of large hail up to quarter size in diameter. Let me just check something, see if we have anything new from the National Weather Service. Still nothing. Alright, so, again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect for portions of Saginaw and Bay counties, especially the southern portion of Bay County. This is primarily for the potential of quarter-size hail and wind gusts that could get elevated, like maybe 40 to 50 miles per hour, but should generally stay under severe limits. We're gonna go back over to the Grand Rapids radar and just to take a general look at everything. The only current severe thunderstorm in our local area is this one heading into the Saginaw area, and that's mainly for large hail. But we also have other showers and thunderstorms ongoing across the area, including our main complex of storms currently south of the Grand Rapids area towards like the Wayland area, Plainwell area, and south of Kalamazoo, Portage, and then towards the state line. We are keeping an eye on some severe weather current near the state line, including a tornado warning south of the Elkhart area towards the North Webster area. In fact, the National Weather Service office, including the radar, and near North Webster, Indiana, is currently under a tornado warning. The thing is, we've been monitoring the data, and our warm front is still, as of just after 8 o'clock, still south of the state line, for the most part. which would mean any storms once it gets north of the warm front will be elevated in nature, and that would help reduce the severe weather threat some, especially the tornado threat. We are still going to watch for a potential tornado threat for areas near the state line. In fact, we have a new severe thunderstorm warning that is now in effect that includes portions of, let's see, in southwest Michigan, this includes southeastern portions of St. Joseph County and southern branch counties in southwest Michigan. This is until 9:30. At 8:14, severe thunderstorms are located along a line extending from near Simonton Lake to 6 miles southeast of Napanee to near Mentone or Menton. I apologize, I may mispronounce that. And this is moving to the east at 60 miles per hour. Hazard 70 mile per hour wind gusts and quarter size hail. So this is a little bit stronger of a storm down here as it's along the warm front. And we are still monitoring the potential for a tornado as well, as we've had tornado warnings associated with this storm as well. So some areas that are included in that particular warning include the Sturgis area, the Fawn River community, Burr Oak, Bronson, the Gilead area, the Bethel community, the Batavia area. I will say you are in, if you are in especially the south side of Coldwater, south of the Community Health Center of Branch County, you are in the severe thunderstorm warning. And this also includes the Kinderhook area, the Bethel area. If you're near like Crystal Beach, Pearl Beach, or Canada Shores, you are in the severe thunderstorm warning, and that goes down to the state line. This also includes Interstate 69 between the state line and Coldwater, near the Coldwater area. And if you're near the California, not the state, the small unincorporated community of California, you're the west. If you're west of the Copeland Road and Southway Quincy Road intersection, you are in the severe thunderstorm warning. Again, this is for the potential of 70 mile per hour wind gusts, which is elevated in nature, along with the potential for quarter size hail, and will also be watching for the potential of a brief spin up tornado. Again, I'll take a quick look at velocity. I don't see anything too concerning up in our area at this time, but we are watching some areas of potential rotation, mainly heading towards the radar in North Webster, Indiana. So, just to summarize, the severe thunderstorm warning that continues for the Saginaw area, that is heading towards, well, if you're in Saginaw proper, you are out of the severe thunderstorm warning now. This is mainly the Zilwaukee area, the Bay City area, Essexville, and this is for the potential hail up to quarter size. And the other severe thunderstorm warning includes portions of St. Joseph, let me double check that, St. Joseph and Branch counties in southwest Michigan, and this is for some stronger storms with the potential to produce 70 mile per hour wind gusts along with quarter size hail, in addition to the potential of a brief tornado. Any other storms are generally not severe in nature, but may carry the potential for gusty winds and small hail. And I also wanted, before we go, to discuss the heavy rainfall potential. I will outline that the Weather Prediction Center recently issued a mesoscale precipitation discussion product, and it generally included areas like this. This is not an exact representation, but it's something similar to this effect. And that is for the potential of heavy rainfall causing potential flash flooding. Although our severe threat locally is relatively lower compared to areas just to our south, what we will have to worry about with these storms nonetheless, even if they're not particularly severe, although there is still somewhat of a severe weather threat, as you can see, and that is for the potential for some of these thunderstorms to train over the same areas. Like one area might might see multiple thunderstorms through the evening hours, and these storms are carrying heavy rainfall rates, with the Weather Prediction Center highlighting in their discussion the potential for 1 to 2 inch per hour rainfall rates. once you get a storm setting over, once you get storms training over the same area with those kind of rainfall rates, rainfall can add up relatively quickly, and that is why we will have to be concerned about the potential for flash flooding this evening. As you can see, a flood watch continues for some of our southeast Michigan counties, including the Ann Arbor, Detroit, Pontiac, Monroe, Adrian areas, up towards Macomb County, or Macomb and St. Clair counties as well. You are under a flood watch. So that is just something we also have to be aware of, is the potential for some flash flooding, particularly near and southeast of the I-69 corridor this evening. So that is about everything. Since we have no active tornado warnings or anything like that in our local area at this time, I am going to stop the stream for right... Actually, no, we're not going to stop the stream. I am going to switch over to our other radar source and go with a live general looping radar stream. If we do get any additional warnings, we will be back here with live coverage, especially if it's severe thunderstorm warnings. And if any county in our viewing area does end up under a tornado warning, which we will have to especially watch areas near the state line for that, but if any county in our coverage area in the southern lower Michigan region ends up under a tornado warning, we will be here with live non-stop coverage until the danger is over. This is Jacob Melton here in the Southern Michigan Weather Center. Give me just a moment, you will be seeing a looping radar stream with no audio. And to stay tuned to Southern Michigan weather, we will keep you advised. Good evening once again. It is 8:39 on this Wednesday, April 2nd, 8:39 in the evening. This is Jacob Mountain back with you here in the Southern Michigan Weather Center. And we have a new severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued for portions of Huron County. This is in the thumb of Michigan, and this is for the same cell that was warned earlier near the Saginaw and Bay City areas. And this is again for the primary potential of quarter-sized hail, although there may be some non-severe gusty winds as well with the storm. But the primary severe hazard with the storm is the potential for quarter-sized hail. Pull up the warning text. National Weather Service in Detroit Pontiac has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Huron County in southeast Michigan. This warning is in effect until 9:15 p.m. this evening. At 8:38 p.m., a severe thunderstorm was located near SMIWX, moving northeast at 85 miles per hour. So this storm is not wasting its time in moving through the area. Again, the primary hazard of this is quarter-sized hail, and this is radar indicated. I have not seen any reports yet from the Saginaw and Bay City areas. If anyone has any, feel free to let us know in the chat or on social media, on our social media platforms. You can find us at SMIWX on the majority, WX on the at SMIWX on the majority of those platforms. And again, the source hazard is quarter-sized hail, radar indicated. This severe thunderstorm will be near Pigeon and Caseville around 8:45, in the Port Austin area eventually around 8:55. Other locations impacted by this severe thunderstorm include Pinnebog, I apologize if I mispronounced that, or Pinnebog, Port Crescent State Park, Redmond, Filion, I apologize if I mispronounced that, Rapson, Verona, Bayport, the Bach area, and Grindstone City. For your protection, move the interior room on the lowest floor of a building. And again, this storm is primarily warned for the quarter-sized hail potential. So let's see, our latest radar scan, this is at 8:37. We should hopefully get a newer one soon. But this is showing the heaviest quarter-sized hail potential near the Wildfowl Bay State Wildlife Area, northeast of the SMIWX area. And that will eventually be tracking towards the Pigeon area, eventually, especially south side of Caseville, the Elkton area, the Kindy area, eventually towards, especially south side of Port Austin, towards Grindstone City, and eventually Port Hope. Bad Axe and the Verona areas, you are in the warning as well. And while I think the heaviest hail will pass you to the north as a course of least regret, I still want you inside in a sturdy structure. The Owendale area, again, as the course of least regret, be inside, but I think the worst of it is going to pass to your north. The SMIWX area, give me a few more minutes and you'll be all clear from this. Here, the most of the storm has passed here in northeast, but just with lightning in the area, stay in the structure for sturdy structure for a little bit longer. And let me double check for any reports. Nothing yet. Alright. So, with nothing new on this particular storm just yet, I will go ahead and switch over to our vertical integrated liquid product, which just helps us show hail potential, and that is elevated over the Wildfowl Bay State Wildlife Area. So for those of you in the Pigeon, Caseville areas, eventually the Kindy area, Elkton, and eventually Port Austin, Grindstone City, and Port Hope. Some other areas include the Glencoe area, the Louisville area, Redmond. Again, just as a course of least regret, be inside for the potential of large hail up to quarter size. Alright, newest scan has the heaviest hail potential near the Bayport area, heading towards Pigeon, the Burney area, heading eventually towards especially the south side of Caseville, although if you're anywhere in Caseville, definitely be inside. This is for the potential of larger hail up to quarter size in diameter. Alright. while we're at it, we're going to take a look at this other stronger storm. Give it just a second to load in here. And this is for the potential. This is actually for trained weather spotters reporting penny-size hail with this storm in the Ionia County area, currently over Ionia, Muir, Lyons, just to the southeast of Orleans. This is an early heads up for those of you in portions of southeast Montcalm, and especially in the Gratiot counties, so areas like Carson City, Newark, Perryton, Maple Rapids, eventually towards the Ithaca and North Star areas, and eventually Alma as well. We are keeping an eye on this storm. While it is currently not severe, it has had the history of producing hail up to penny size in diameter, and we are also looking at potential for still some gusty winds. While they should stay under severe limits, just some gusty winds as well, along with heavy downpours and frequent lightning with this storm as well. So just an early heads up for those of you in the portions of Montcalm and Gratiot counties. We are watching this cell. It is currently not severe. Our other severe thunderstorm warning in our coverage area continues to include portions of St. Joseph County and into Branch County as well, especially near and south of US 12. So that's the Sturgis area, the Gilead area, Bethel, Kinderhook. You continue to be under the severe thunderstorm warning, and this is for the potential of 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. We have also been monitoring areas of rotation, so we may need to watch for a potential brief tornado as well. Again, I think the greater tornado potential at this point is south of the state line, but that doesn't mean we can't get one for areas immediately near the state line. Let me take a look at velocity. And we do have elevated winds, especially east of Sturgis, like near the Fallen River area. South of US 12, like heading into the Gilead area. South side of Bronson. Burr Oak area, east of there especially. We are watching some elevated winds. Heading towards Bethel, Kinderhook, south side of Coldwater. Or if you're near like Pearl Beach or Coldwater Lake, which includes Crystal Beach, San Souci Beach, and Canada Shores. The Canada Shores neighborhood. If you're near the Coldwater Lake State Park, you are likely seeing some gustier winds knocking on your doorstep. Again, a severe thunderstorm warning continues for areas near and south of US 12 and southeast St. Joseph and southern Branch counties. This warning continues until 9:30 this evening for the potential of 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and the potential of quarter-size hail as well. So, since we don't have anything new on that front at the moment, I'm going to take one more check of our severe thunderstorm warning up in the thumb before I let you go back to the regular looping radar stream. Again, this latest radar scan has the potential for larger hail. Northeast of the Pigeon area now. It's going just to the south of the Caseville area, although, of course, a race regret, you should be inside of lightning in the area. Eventually heading towards areas like the Rush Lake State Game area, the Pinnebog area, the Kindy area, Glencoe, Lewis. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Alright, let me reset that. The Pinnebog area, and Grindstone City, Port Austin, and eventually Port Hope as well. Just be aware this storm is producing potential up to quarter-size hail. Let me take one more. Okay, this is still outdated. Alright. So, alright, with nothing new coming in, let me just double check. Alright, so this is just, we do have an LSR, dime-size hail at Morrison Lake in Ionia County. This is 2 miles northeast of Clarksville. This is courtesy of a National Weather Service employee. So, penny-size hail, that confirms what we were just saying earlier about that storm. Alright, actually before we do go, for those of you in Huron County, the hail potential has increased from quarter size to ping pong ball size and diameter. It's not reflecting yet in this software, but we But we want you to be aware now of the potential for ping pong ball size hail for some of those of you in Huron County, especially north of the Bad Axe area. Be aware of the potential of ping pong ball size hail. That is 1.5 inches in diameter. Once you start getting into that larger hail, that is the kind of stuff that could do damage to that could put dents in your vehicle, damage your windshields, and it'd be especially true if it was wind damage. Could break some windows on your home, or it may cause some roof damage, like to your shingles or skylights or something like that. So again, this is why I want you inside in a sturdy structure, preferably away from windows if you can, given the potential for a little bit larger hail up to ping pong ball size in diameter. That is now tracking towards the Pinnebog area, eventually towards Port Crescent, the Kindy area, south side of Port Alston and towards Grindstone City, the Glencoe area, Louisville, Redmond, and Port Hope eventually before it heads offshore out into Lake Huron. So with nothing else coming out of that, we are probably going to let things go back to our radar live stream at this time. If we do get any other severe thunderstorm warnings, or if any, we will be back with you live. And if we do get if any county in our viewing area is, which again, the best chance of that, if it does happen, would be near the state line. If any county in our coverage area does end up under a tornado warning, we will be with you nonstop with coverage until the danger is over. This is Jacob Melton here in the Southern Michigan Weather Center. We are going to be sending it back to our looping radar. Stay tuned to Southern Michigan Weather. We will keep you advised. Alright, this is Jacob Melton back with you live here in the Southern Michigan Weather Center at 8:57 p.m. on this Wednesday evening. The National Weather Service has issued a couple new severe thunderstorm warnings, one out in northern Indiana and one warning on the Grand Rapids. And this is for the stronger storms that we've been tracking near the state line. And this is for mainly for the potential of damaging wind gusts of 60 to 70 miles per hour. It varies a little bit depending on which office you are. Our Northern Indiana office for Branch and Hillsdale counties has opted to go 60 mile per hour wind gusts, while our friends at the National Weather Service in Grand Rapids, they have opted to go with the considerable tag for 70 mile per hour wind gusts for southern portions of Calhoun County and the majority of Jackson County. Let's break down how long the warnings go for. This is the Northern Indiana warning, office warning, the severe thunderstorm warning for Branch and Northern Hillsdale counties. This goes until 10 o'clock this evening, and this is for mainly again for the potential of 60 mile per hour wind gusts. We will go ahead and do, this is the Grand Rapids warning for southeastern Calhoun County and Jackson County. This warning goes until 9:45 p.m., and this is primarily, again, for the potential 70 mile per hour wind gusts. So wind gusts between 60 to 70 miles per hour will be the primary hazard with these storms as they track off to the northeast. We are still looking at the potential for some smaller hail as well. And while the tornado potential is not too awfully high, we are watching perhaps a little bit of broader rotation near the Girard area. But as we are getting north of the warm front, the tornado potential will drop off, and we will primarily be focusing on the potential of damaging wind gusts of up to 60 and 70 miles per hour. So if you're in the Girard area, you're probably seeing very heavy rain and gusty winds right now. Same for the Tekonsha area, the Burlington area. Union City, you're on the back side of it. Same goes for Coldwater. And this is a heads up for areas like Clarendon, Homer, Butler, Litchfield, the Quincy area. It is on your doorstep right now. Same for Jonesville, the Moscow area, and Somerset Center, the Pulaski area, Hanover, Concord, Spring Arbor, the Albion area, Parma, Sandstone, the Jackson area, you are in this as well. And same goes for like the Leone area, Glass Lake, Napoleon, Brooklyn, the Liberty area, Vandercook Lake, and also off to the northeast, the Pleasant Lake area and the Munith area. And this will also be a early heads up for areas like Stockbridge as well, and portions of southeast Ingham County. We will be watching as well, as this could eventually approach your area as well. You are not actively under a severe thunderstorm warning, but this is something we just wanted to give you an early heads up for. There's a potential for some damaging wind gusts between 60 and 70 miles per hour. We're going to take one more look at our active severe thunderstorm warning up in the thumb. And this storm is showing a little bit weaker, but still could be producing some large hail. Maybe around quarter to ping pong ball size. It is now moving through the Grindstone City area. Let me actually take a look at another radar. Let's go for one of our Canadian radars. This one is near the Exeter area, the Exeter radar. That is still showing a little bit stronger of a hail core near the Grindstone City area. Let me fix our scroll really quick. Oops. Maybe be a little touch slower. Okay, there we go. Did it not apply? Oops, hold on. Alright, just adjusting that as we are getting multiple warnings now. We don't want you guys to have to focus on very fast scroll text, but again, the potential for larger hail is still near the Grindstone City area. That will be out of here in the next 5 to 10 minutes with the very fast storm motions. And I would anticipate the warning for Huron County to be dropped here in relatively short order, as that will be offshore. We're going to go back to the Grand Rapids radar and focus on our of our non-severe storms that we were looking at that I've moved out of the Ionia and Clinton County areas. These storms are currently non-severe in nature, although they have had a history of penny-sized hail in Ionia County, like near the Saranac area. And I'll have to double check what the report was again. I believe it was the 2 miles in northeast of Clarksville at Morrison Lake. Our National Weather Service employees were reporting reporting penny-sized hail. And we do have a report from the Port Alston area, and this was at 8:56, a train spotter reporting quarter-size hail near the Port Alston area of that storm that is currently moving out of the county. We also have a little bit stronger storm near the Applegate area, currently non-severe, but was producing potentially hail up to nickel size in diameter. So a heads up for areas near the Port Sanilac area that will be moved in over the next couple of minutes is the potential for nickel size hail, currently non-severe. Taking one more look at our storms that are severe as well near the state line to the I-94 corridor. Again, this is primary for the potential of 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts. And I do see, this is on the Grand Rapids radar, I do see a little bit of potential rotation. Nothing that immediately screams tornado to me. Let me draw that. It's going to be right here near the Girard area that we're watching. Again, nothing that immediately screams tornado to me, but a heads up eventually for the Clarendon area, the Homer area. We are watching some broad rotation, but nothing that immediately suggests a tornado threat to me. Just probably some more elevated wind gusts, eventually towards the Clarendon, the Bentley Quarters, the Homer area, and eventually Concord if it holds together. Again, nothing to immediately suggest a tornado warning at this time with that, but just something to be aware of that could enhance some damaging winds closer to the 60 to 70 mile per hour threshold. Alright. So, again, let me just double check one last time for anything new. In fact, the National Weather Service, for those of you in Huron County, they have canceled the severe thunderstorm warning as that storm is moving out right now back over in Lake Huron. Alright, since we don't have anything new to report, just be aware, especially northeast into the Jackson area, and eventually the Concord, Jackson, and eventually Stockbridge areas if it holds together. We are watching some elevated damaging wind potential between 60 and 70 miles per hour heading into your area over the next little while. These storms are moving relatively quickly at 70 miles per hour, so they will not take long to move through your area, but just be aware of the potential for damaging winds that is for the course of least regret. Seek shelter now, sturdy building, away from windows, potentially on the lowest, preferably on the lowest floor if you can get there. This is Jacob Melton in the Southern Michigan Weather Center. Since we don't have active tornado warnings, I'm going to send it back to our looping radar stream. If we do get a tornado warning, or if this gets upgraded with destructive severe thunderstorm warning, the likelihood of that I believe is relatively low. But if it does happen, if it's either a destructive severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning, I will be here non-stop covering it until the danger is over. This is Jacob Melton in the Southern Michigan Weather Center. Stay tuned to Southern Michigan Weather. We will keep you advised. Alright, it is 9:17 p.m. on this Wednesday evening. Jacob Melton back with you here in the Southern Michigan Weather Center. And I just wanted to provide another quick update on our ongoing severe thunderstorm warning across portions of the area. The National Weather Service in Grand Rapids has recently dropped Calhoun County from the severe thunderstorm warning. And while the warning continues for portions of Jackson County, they did drop our this potential damaging wind gusts from 70 miles per hour with a considerable tag. They have dropped it down to 60 miles per hour. So while this is still a severe thunderstorm, the good news is the wind potential is backed off a little bit. Taking a look here at Doppler radar from Grand Rapids, the strongest part of the storm is currently over the Parma, Concord, Spring Arbor areas up towards Springport. And this is quickly moving off to the north. When we pull up the warning text, it is moving very quickly off to the northeast at 80 miles per hour. So these storms won't stick around over your particular area very long, but they will pack a punch with 60 to still maybe 65 and maybe a 70 mile an hour wind gusts. The warning only being for 60 miles per hour, but we still can't necessarily rule out some of those stronger gusts. Let's take a look at wind velocity mode. And I'm not immediately seeing anything to suggest tornadic potential. We are north of the warm front, so that front's a little bit lower. However, I am watching maybe a little bit of rotation, or at least some higher wind near the Concord area, south of Parma. If you're near the M60 corridor, that is where we're looking at the potential for a little bit of rotation that may enhance the damaging wind potential. And while the tornado threat is very, very, very low this evening, especially with the warm front being to our south, I'm not going to say it's zero this evening, so it is something we are going to have to watch. That is only the notable area of rotation I'm looking at right now. Nothing to suggest a tornado threat immediately to me, but possibly some higher winds near the Alcord area, the River Ridge area to the north of Concord. And that is going to track towards Parma, Sandstone, towards the Woodville area, towards the Jackson County Airport, eventually towards the US 127 and Interstate 94 interchange. Eventually is when you'll expect the winds to pick up. We are also in northwestern Jackson County. The northwestern portion of the county is not severe warned at this point in time, but near the Springport area, we are also showing another couple areas of elevated velocities. Not severe at this point, but just be aware towards like the Onondaga area, the Tompkins area. Eventually Leslie, which I know you guys had that tornado, EF0 tornado in that area this last Sunday. Just be aware the winds may pick up again as these storms move through your area, but it is currently not severe, although we will be monitoring that. Heading further south into Hillsdale and Branch counties, I will say for Branch County, you're not fully in the clear, but you mostly are. This is mainly a Hillsdale County deal. And let me switch over to IWX. I am curious on that near the Camden area. I'm going to switch over to IWX. Maybe a little bit right there. It's not really showing up. Let me just double check correlation just in case. Bear with me here. Hopefully it loads. Try that again. There we go. Alright, that looks like just noise to me. I'll have to watch that. Wait another scan. I feel like that's noise though. But just watching a little bit of rotation near the Camden area that could be at least producing some elevated gusty wind potential there. The southeastern portion of the county is not officially under a severe thunderstorm warning, but just something we might have to watch for a little bit. Other severe thunderstorm warnings are ongoing to our south, and there was a new tornado watch. While it does not include any of our border counties in our coverage area, just due to the proximity of the warm front, we will have to watch these storms across our near border areas like south of the US 223 corridor. So like the Fairfield area, the Ogden area, Whiteford Township, Bedford Township, towards around Monroe and Point South. We will be watching that area as well, and we will also be watching this line segment heading into the Jackson area now. It is now heading into the Jackson area for potential damaging winds and maybe the very, very small threat of a brief tornado. In fact, our latest scan has this rotation. Again, nothing immediately suggests tornadic potential to me, although we are watching it. It is over the Spring Arbor area at this time, like over the Pine Meadows area. In fact, alright, still nothing from the National Weather Service on that. But the Sandstone area, southeast of Parma, like if you're near the Aviera Oaks area, newest scan still has it broad over the Sandstone area now, near the Woodville community, near the I-94 and M60 interchange. That is where this potential rotation is going to be. Along near County Farm Road. There's no active tornado warning with this, but just as a course of least regret, I want you in a sturdy building on the lowest floor, preferably away from windows. Just no signs of debris, so that's a good news.
We are back in Michigan.
Excuse me, but yeah, that's nothing. That's not immediately suggesting tornadic to me, but definitely some potential for elevated wind gusts there near the Sandstone area, probably closer to 60, maybe a little bit over to that threshold. It will be passing over to Jackson County Airport relatively soon, where we should hopefully get.
For a second there, I thought you were the voice of God talking to me.
But we'll hopefully get a wind gust measurement from Jackson, which, by the way, on Sunday, the Jackson County Airport measured an incredible 96 mile per hour wind gusts. These storms are probably not going to be anything like that tonight, but still 60, maybe 70 mile an hour winds. 60 to 65 mile an hour winds will be possible heading into the Jackson area shortly. So let me take another tour of just a general look around the radar. Those two the Branch, Hillsdale, and Jackson counties, you are the only severe thunderstorm warnings. Severe thunderstorms at this time in our coverage area. There have been special weather statements issued across portions of southeast lower for the potential, like near the I-69 corridor and points north. That is for the potential of winds in excess of 30 miles per hour and half-inch hail. And for those of you along the I-96 corridor and points south of Livingston, for portions of Livingston, Washtenaw, and Wenaway counties, this has been issued for the potential of winds in excess of 40 miles per hour and pea-sized hail. We will have to watch if the National Weather Service and Detroit opts to issue severe thunderstorm warnings, particularly for portions of Livingston and Washtenaw, although we will have to watch portions of Wenaway County as well, if they decide to issue severe thunderstorm warnings primarily for the potential of elevated wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. But other than that, the severe threat continues to be relatively low this evening, particularly once you get north of the I-94 and especially north of the I-96 corridors. That is primarily hail potential up there. We did have a few severe warnings like near the Saginaw and Huron counties earlier, with some larger hail reports up to quarter size and up near the Port Austin area. But our severe threat is much lower compared to areas off to the south, fortunately, but we will still be here through the evening monitoring. I still expect our severe threat to end area-wide towards the 11 a.m. to midnight time frame. I do see there are some additional showers back towards the Milwaukee area, but at that point, we will be outside of our best instability time frame, and we don't expect any additional severe weather once our storms over our area right now eventually pass off to the east. Again, in portions of the southeast lower, what about Macomb County, Michigan? I apologize, Juan. I just saw that in our in the chat. But Macomb County, be alert just in case for the potential of a severe thunderstorm. I think the chances are lower than compared to like areas near the state line. But just be aware of the small chance of a severe thunderstorm. But otherwise, Mainly look for heavy rainfall, which could cause some flash flooding issues. Maybe some gusty winds, maybe some smaller hail, and it'll probably just be a generally loud night with these thunderstorms over your area. But the severe chance is low, but we will be here watching throughout the evening just in case. But I think over time this will eventually transform into a heavy rainfall threat primarily, with the potential for flash flooding, particularly around the Detroit metro area, as you are under a flood watch, and we will need to be watching for potential flood warnings, especially later on this evening. All right. Does anyone else have any questions here before I send it back to the radar live stream? We'll be doing that momentarily. So just as a general overview, let me actually flip over to our other system. Alright, let me pause the loop just for a second. We currently have severe thunderstorm warnings for portions of Branch and Hillsdale counties. That goes until 10 o'clock. We have severe thunderstorm warnings for Jackson County until 9:45. And we have special weather statements for portions of Southeast Lower for Wenaway, Washtenaw, and Livingston counties, in addition to Livingston for Wenaway, Washtenaw, and Livingston counties, and we also have special weather statements primarily for hail potential, although some gusty winds over 30 miles per hour might be possible. And that is for Shiawassee, Genesee, Saginaw, Tuscola, and Bay counties. So again, we are not particularly concerned about widespread severe weather, but just especially areas south of I-94. Just be aware of the potential for maybe some damaging winds and the low chance of severe weather. And once you get north of the 94 corridor, probably a hail threat, if anything. And we will also be watching the heavy rainfall threat throughout the evening, particularly in southeast lower Michigan, including the Detroit metro area. Thank you for subscribing, Juan. I definitely appreciate that. Trying to grow here on YouTube, so much appreciated. And all right. So we're probably gonna send it back to our looping radar live stream at this juncture. If we do get any new severe thunderstorm warnings, we'll be back here to update you on that. And in the off chance any county in our viewing area ends up under a tornado warning or a destructive tag severe thunderstorm warning, I will be back here nonstop with live coverage until the danger is past. This is Jacob Melton here in the Southern Michigan Weather Center. Stay tuned to Southern Michigan Weather. We will keep you advised. This is Jacob Melton back with you here in the Southern Michigan Weather Center at 9:51 p.m. on this Wednesday evening. And I just wanted to provide another quick update on our ongoing storms across the area. This severe thunderstorm warning that's showing here over northeastern Hillsdale County, that has just been canceled over the last few minutes. It should drop off the screen soon, if not already. It should have, but it should drop off soon. But removing that, we have no active severe thunderstorm warnings across our local area at this time. However, we are still watching some stronger storms across, especially now heading into southeast lower. We have some stronger storms that we are watching for some smaller hail and gusty wind potential. It is not showing on this system just yet, but we do have a special weather. I'll just flip over to the other system. I'll stop the loop. We'll stay on this, but we do have a special weather statement for southeast lower, portions of southeast lower, including the Detroit metro area. This is for areas along I-75 and from M59 in particular and points south. This is for potential for wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour and hail up to pea size in diameter. Again, nothing is currently severe of these storms, but just be aware of the potential for wind gusts in excess of 40 miles per hour. And we will go ahead and do a quick storm track for these. Let's track it kind of like this. Oops, maybe not. Let's try that again. Let's track it along the leading edge, kind of like that. It is moving northeast at, we'll go 50 miles per hour. And that is going to take it into the, the Ann Arbor area right about now at 9:57. Ypsilanti at 10:04. These are estimated times of arrival, so don't take these with gospel. But we have, let me do this. We'll do a couple different tracks since we have a couple different leading edges. This is going to be 50 miles per hour to the northeast. It's going to take it to Ypsilanti at 10:01, the Novi area at 10:06, the Farmington Hills area at 10:12, the Westland area, the Waterford and Westland areas at 10:12, Livonia at 10:15, Garden City 10:16, the Pontiac area at 10:18, Dearborn Heights at 10:20, Southfield at 10:22, Oak Park area at 10:24, the Troy area at 10:26, same for Royal Oak, Rochester Hills and Ferndale areas at 10:27, the Madison Heights area at 10:28, the Warren area at 10:33, Sterling Heights also at 10:33, 10:37 for the East Point area, and the 10:39 for Roseville. Let me just double check what that was. Okay, that's Northern Indiana. Okay, just double checking that. Message tells us Northern Indiana. I will track this in more individual storm, and we are monitoring behind the scenes that little bit of a kink near the Onstead area, but I'm not seeing anything overly concerning with that at this point, but we will continue to watch that. But individually tracking this storm off to the northeast at around 50 miles per hour. That's going to put it into the Manchester area at 10:15, the Saline area at 10:30, the Ann Arbor area at 10:36, the Barton Hills area at 10:37, Ypsilanti again at 10:42. That's for that portion of the storm, and the South Lyon area at 10:50. Again, there's no active severe thunderstorm warnings of this activity. We are continuing to watch it. I will go ahead and go to our north. And this special weather statement continues until 10:30 for portions of Shiawassee, Saginaw Bay, Tuscola, and Genesee counties. It is heading east of the Owasso and Chesaning areas. This is now passing off to your east. I am going to track this section of our line of storms off to the northeast at around, this is 74, so a little bit faster. So we'll go about 70 miles per hour. That's going to put it into the Clio area. Right now, as a matter of fact, it's 9:56. The Mount Morris area right about now, same with Reese. Flint in the next couple of minutes at 9:59. The Burton area at 10:02. Vassar at 10:03. The Millington area at 10:04. Davison at 10:06. Columbiaville at 10:10. 10:12 for Cairo. Mayville also at 10:12. The Sebelwang area at 10:16. 10:19 for North Branch. Cass City at 10:23. The Marlette area at 10:24. Pigeon area at 10:25. The Bad Axe area at 10:34. Sandusky at 10:35. The Deckerville area at 10:40. And Harbor Beach at 10:49. Again, we don't currently have any active severe thunderstorm warnings, and this special weather statement up here is mainly for a half-inch hail and 30 wind gusts in excess of 30 miles per hour. As we are losing daytime heating, our severe threat, I think, will continue to wane. Not only as we lose daytime heating, but also as these storms will eventually push out of the area towards the overnight time frame. I do think we are beginning to transition from a severe threat down to a heavy rain threat. While that could still cause some issues in itself, the heavy rain threat in particular will be across the Detroit metro area, where, as you can see, I'm scrolling on the bottom of your screen, we do have a flood watch that continues until 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. And this is for the metro Detroit area and surrounding counties, basically from including St. Clair County, Macomb County. And you see the counties scrolling on the bottom of your screen. That is for the flood watch. We also do have some ongoing river flood warnings for, like, I believe somewhere around the Lansing area. I do know there was a couple issued earlier in Newaygo County as well. Flood warnings, this is just because this heavy rainfall that we've had throughout the day today and into tonight is causing some elevated levels on our area rivers. And in Southeast Lower in particular, we are worried about training of thunderstorms. I will see if this loop will show that. Let me play the loop again. And let me slow it down, actually, because this is what I wanted to show you. See this going on over Hillsdale? Those are thunderstorms training over the same area. I'll illustrate that like this. See, these are training over the same general area. And we will have to watch that because these storms have rainfall. Some of these storms have rainfall rates up to 1 to 2 inches per hour. And when you get a storm sitting over your particular area, like give an hour or 2 hours or something like that, that rain can begin to add up. And we will have to watch for further flood advisories and warnings and possibly a flash flood warnings if the rain becomes heavy enough, particularly in Southeast Lower, near and southeast of the I-69 corridor. That is something we will have to focus on through the evening hours, and we will still watch for low-end severe threat, primarily with damaging winds. But I do not think that we were lucky to avoid major severe weather, like what's going on off to our south. In fact, let me finish this up, and I will do a general zoom out. We have severe thunderstorm and tornado warnings ongoing off to our south. Several of these tornadoes have been confirmed. In fact, down in Arkansas, we even had a tornado emergency earlier. Or tornado emergency with near the Lake City area in Arkansas, I believe. That was there's footage out there of a strong, violent type tornado down in that area earlier. We are fortunate to avoid that, as the warm front has stayed mainly just south of the state line, fortunately. We do expect the temperatures to continue to warm into the overnight hours, but the thing is, we are heading past the peak parameter timing for severe weather. So you could see behind this activity, there's a few isolated showers off to the west. I am not expecting anything significant to come out of that. So once we get these storms out of here later tonight into the early overnight hours, our severe weather threat will be done and over with for the night. So I do see we have a new special weather statement. It's a little bit stronger storm. Let me switch over to our other software, see if that has not yet. I might need to restart that. So bear with me just for a second. There's some different software we're trying out. Let me restart that. Get that back up. Okay, there we go. Just trying out some different software. This is for a strong thunderstorm will impact southern Washtenaw County through 10:15. Doppler radar is tracking at 9:59. Doppler radar is tracking a strong thunderstorm near Saline, moving east at 50 miles per hour. This storm is a little bit stronger, with wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour and pea-sized hail. Let me switch over to our lower level radar scan in southwest Wayne County. This is for DTW, Detroit Metropolitan Wayne County Airport. Detroit Metropolitan Airport. This is a radar for that, based in southwest Wayne County, near the Sumter Township area. And let me take a look at wind velocities on that. Yep, that's definitely showing some elevated wind. Perhaps, like if you're in the Lodi Township area, Saline Township, heading towards Saline proper, the Ann Arbor, York Charter Township, Ypsilanti, and Augusta Charter Township, heading towards Superior Township. We are showing some elevated velocities while still under severe limits, generally in the 40 to 50 mile per hour range. Actually, we got a couple 51s, but generally in the 40 to 50 mile an hour range based on low-level radar from southwest Wayne County. This is straight line winds. I don't see any signs of anything tornadic with this activity, but winds may pick up a little bit, particularly heading towards the Saline, Ann Arbor, and Ypsilanti areas. This does include the University of Michigan. So nothing severe at this point in time. We will continue to monitor, but 40 to probably up to 50, if not in excess of 50 mile an hour wind gusts will be possible across southern portions of Washtenaw County, not Wayne County, Washtenaw County, with this storm as it continues to track off to the east at around 55 miles per hour. Switch back over. Alright, what do we got? I'll just double check that actually from the next rad. Alright. Nothing super obvious. Let me see what the IEM was. Just strong thunderstorm impacting southern Washtenaw County. So, given we don't have any other warnings in effect at this point in time, I will say utility company, this is likely Consumers Energy, 2 miles to the southwest of Pulaski. This is in Jackson County. Utility company, this is likely Consumers. 6 different power outages of 200 to 1,000 each in far southwest Jackson County. In fact, I do have the Consumers power outage map up on our other source, which I will switch to that real quick. Head down in the far southwestern portions of the county. And yep, we do have a batch of power outages like around the Hanover area, heading into northern Hillsdale County, like near the northeast of the Jonesville area. We are showing a batch of power outages. This was likely caused by the high winds from earlier. So, this is when we had the 60 to 70 mile per hour winds possibly in particularly in southwestern portions of the county. I did not see any observed wind measurements from that area, but I wouldn't doubt with these power outages, 60 to 70 mile an hour winds. And I am showing another larger outage near the Munith, near the Jackson-Ingham County line to the southwest of Stockbridge. this just recently. This was at 9:35, so perhaps some gusty winds or lightning strike or something like that. Dansville, that's 6:32. Okay, so that's an earlier outage. We do still have scattered power outages. Some of this is still from the Sunday storms that we had, because that was a lot more significant than what we were having ongoing this evening. Those Sunday storms were quite significant across our area, especially south of M46. We had numerous widespread outages, and our consumers crews, they're quite busy not only with this activity from today and from Sunday. We still have up north too, where they're still showing outages from this is from the ice storms that we've had up there this past weekend. And even a little bit more freezing rain earlier today that they didn't need up there. But yeah, so quite busy our power crews are during this time. And our thoughts go out to them and make sure they all stay safe as they work to restore your guys' power. So, alright. One more look at radar before we go ahead and send it back to the looping radar live stream, which we expect to end that around the midnight time frame, as that is when I believe all the severe weather will be out of here for the evening. It might adjust a little bit based on trends of the radar, but just know that we think our severe weather threat is tending to line down. I still can't rule out maybe 1 or 2 more severe thunderstorm warnings, especially south of I-94. But otherwise, this will just be some heavier rain with some flooding potential, and also maybe some gusty winds and smaller hail. Alright, so since we have no active warnings, severe thunderstorm or tornado warnings at this point, I am going to send it back to the looping radar stream. We will be back here if a severe thunderstorm warning is issued, and although the chance is relatively low at this point, if any county in our viewing area ends up under a tornado warning or a destructive tag severe thunderstorm warning, I'll be back with you non-stop until the danger is over. This is Jacob Melton here in the Southern Michigan Weather Center. Stay tuned to Southern Michigan Weather. We will keep you advised.